Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, start recording and then move the camera. Okay, so I said before, I don't normally tend to make these post-match reactions when it comes to like the FA Cup or Carabao Cup, or it's only the Premier League I tend to do these videos on. But given that we just got knocked out of the semis to cheating Chelsea, when is the guarantee next time we're going to be playing the FA Cup again? This is like the last time for a potential while. It's literally 20 past 1 in the afternoon and my cranium is still fucking throbbing. I've not drank so much in my life yesterday. Well, I wasn't like going overboard, but I don't drink often. And when I do tend to drink, it's like literally like a few bottles or a few cans or whatever. I literally spent the vast majority of yesterday just drinking. I was going into pubs left, right, and centre. Then eventually found a pub that had a TV and then watched it, and then turned out to be one of the worst experiences of my life. The day in general was alright, but it's just the match ruined it. It's because we have this habit of not turning up to Wembley, the stadium that every footballer or any sports person wants to perform at or partake at, and we go and perform like that. It probably is nerves, everyone's probably anxious because, it's very rare you see a Leeds player perform at Wembley Stadium. Chelsea have not scored a goal in 6 games. The one time they fucking do is against us. Only they kept what's his name? Liam Reservoir or something. Oh, that's it. Will McKenzie. If only they kept Will McKenzie at Chelsea, we might have had a chance of going to the fucking final. But yeah, I mean, Chelsea did well to sack him in time for that game, because if Liam Resemblance was still there, fucking hell. If he was still there, and then there was a higher chance that we would have advanced to the final. So yeah, this is like the last post-match reaction of Leeds United that I'm going to do that's based around like an FA Cup or whatever. Because again, like I said, when will we next play at Wembley? The one time I do not want us to play at Wembley is in the fucking playoff final in the lower tiers. I just don't want us to get relegated, Yeah, let's go on with the match, shall we? Because I've just spent the last 3.5 minutes talking shite, and that's going to be no different for the rest of the video, but I'm actually going to talk about the game now. So yeah, you know what? I'll admit, Chelsea were the better team in the first half. We had that one chance with Aronson, where he had that one-on-one opportunity and scuffed it. Am I the only one that thinks that's so identical to the goal that we conceded to the last time we were at Wembley? Where we played Southampton in the playoff final a couple of seasons back, and Adam Armstrong, that name is still living rent-free in my head, but he scored a goal. He actually scored a goal identical to that. And Aronson goes and has a similar opportunity and fucking misses it, the daft cunt.
Lost 4-2 at Ellen Road. Through ball now, Adam Armstrong, he's going to break the offside trap, yes, he's done it!
And that's actually like the best chance we've had throughout the entire of the first half. Chelsea were all over us pretty much. Leeds fans who are fucking retarded would probably say that we were the better team in the first half. We weren't. Because unlike them, I actually watched the game as well as drink. Them lot probably just drank all day and probably saw double all the way through. They're probably like, why is there 2 referees? Or why is there 2 balls on the pitch and whatever? Because they were that fucking drunk. But with me, I managed to keep my eyesight intact and discover quite easily that we were not that good in the first half. Not much at all happened in the first half other than Chelsea scoring from a Pascal Struijk error, which that is really annoying because Struijk, all he had to do was kick the ball. Just kick it as hard as you fucking can. And he couldn't even fucking do that. But yeah, that Chelsea goal just led to a Pascal Struijk error. And that literally cost us the fucking game, really, because we couldn't do anything else to equalise. Yeah, Tanaka had a free kick and skied it. Stack had one in the second half, and I don't know what happened, but he didn't score it like he normally does. Calvert-Lewin had a free header, went straight into the keeper's hands, of all places. There was Okafor, who has been absolutely incredible for us recently. He didn't show up either. Like, what is it with Leeds United not showing up at Wembley, for fuck's sake? But yeah, I'll tell you what, if there's one player on our team who was the best player, I'd say it would be Gudmundsson. He might have made a couple of little errors, but at the same time, his passion and his determination to get the ball is just out of this world. He plays a fucking left back, or he plays somewhere in defence. He might have been playing like left wing back or maybe even left mid, but he was going back and forth up and down that wing all fucking game. And he even put his hamstring like halfway through the second half, and he still continued playing. He was still determined. He was still passionate about trying to get that goal for us that we so desperately needed, and that we still couldn't put our chances away. So, judging that, I'm happy that we lost. Because, if we're going to just show up for the second half, like we still weren't the best team that we normally have been. Where was that Leeds United who would beat Man United on their home turf after so many years. Where's the Leeds who were just so comfortably beat Wolves? I know it's Wolves, but we scored an overhead kick for the first time in years. We get cursed at Wembley. There was a stat I saw yesterday, or some point last night, that said, including last night's game, the last 4 games Leeds played at Wembley, they couldn't even score a goal. Whoever we played against kept a clean sheet. Is there like a curse? Is fucking Danhausen in the stadium somewhere? Like, what the fuck is going on with our goal scoring at Wembley? Non-existent. Unbelievable. Here's another stat that I kind of made up, but it would make sense if it was actually accurate. There was more Chelsea players rolling along the floor than there was shots in total. I'm not sure if that's actually correct, but it fucking feels like it, because you cannot go 5 minutes without some Chelsea player falling to the floor like a fucking pansy, rolling around in agony over a foul that didn't even exist. The amount of times they did that. That's why they were cheating, because they kept on falling on the floor getting free kicks. Another thing that they cheated with was fucking Sanchez fucking crumbling to the floor over nothing. He realised he couldn't moonwalk properly, so he thought, oh yeah, that's my legs gone. And that gave the Chelsea team the opportunity to go to their fucking manager, whoever he is now. It's not Liam Rembrandt or whatever. I mean, Ampadu and all of these players did the perfect response and just go over to the fucking manager, like their manager, whilst he's talking. Because, you know, why should that be allowed? You know what I mean? It's getting to a point now that even the commentators are getting fed up with it. You know, these commentators are so unbiased. They have to be. And then they come out saying, oh yeah,
Sanchez has gone down. And we have to be careful, don't we? Because if there is a proper injury, we can't really say too much about it. But the suspicion has to be there is no such thing.
It's getting stupid now. You see players every game just doing Yokozuna's bonsai drop on the grass, literally falling on their ass and being like, oh, my leg hurts, quick, go to the manager, he needs something to say to you. And it's happening too frequently, like the West Ham game in the quarters. You had fucking Areola, good name by the way. He gets grounded. His teammate spends 5 minutes trying to uncramp him. The referee stood right next to him as well. He spent 5 minutes to get his leg uncramped. It's like, mate, you're a goalkeeper, you've done fuck all for 90 minutes. Like, literally, you're the last person to fucking go on the floor for a cramp. Getting to a point now where it's just so blatantly obvious that they're cheating. It's just because, like, if it was last season, you know, no one would really bat an eyelid that much, you know, because of how rare it was. But this season, it's going way too over the top. It's getting on everybody's nerves. We paid good money to watch you play football. The football bit is the one part of football you see the least. You see players falling over. You see players writhing around in agony for no reason. You got players sitting on the floor and getting their teammates to go to the manager for tactics and instructions and stuff. There's barely any football anymore. You know what I mean? It needs sorting, bro. I'm not having it anymore where players just go down randomly. It shouldn't happen anymore. There should be a new rule in the Prem. You got the whole substitution one where it's like players have like 10 seconds to get off the pitch or, you know, whatever. There's another one where if players take too long to take set pieces like throw-ins or corners and then the ball goes the other way. There should be a thing with players unnecessarily falling down and then their teammates going to their manager for advice. It's like, that should be a new rule coming to next season. Maybe even to the World Cup as well, for that matter. I would say congrats to Chelsea, but I'm a Leeds fan, so we naturally hate them. And also, they didn't do anything to deserve going through apart from that goal. But then, you know, they scored a goal, and that's the one good thing they did. Everything else in that game was just absolute fucking shite. You know, you talk about a fucking Premier League side who are in like the top 6 of the table now, who are probably like Europa League bound or maybe even Champions League if they're lucky. And they go and play like that at Wembley, the biggest fucking English stage of them all, or whatever fucking gay shit I was going to say there. But that's just the gist on that game. I'm glad I don't have to wish on doing another fucking reaction on the FA Cup that we're in, because there's no point. At this stage, you might as well just not expect us to win anymore. You know, don't waste your money going to Wembley to see us win, because it's not going to fucking happen. We couldn't even score in our last 4 games at Wembley. So what are the fucking chances of scoring the next time we're at Wembley? Even if we play against fucking Shrewsbury or Port Vale or, you know, Grimsby Town or Northampton or those sort of teams, we still won't be able to fucking score against them. Yeah, we don't have to worry about the FA Cup now. I mean, I could say we have to focus on survival in the Prem, but that's pretty inevitable that we are going to survive. I literally saw a Spurs fan talk about the injury crisis that Spurs have, and they can literally make a starting 11 of injured players Literally could. Spurs got a chance of surviving. Very slim. Very slim. As long as West Ham and Forest win their games, or like the next 2 games at least, Spurs are going down, and that means that Leeds, who are above West Ham and Forest, will stay up. Where the fuck did all that come from? But yeah, we got Burnley at home. Hopefully it's not like last time where we lost 2-0 for some reason. I mean, Burnley have only just got relegated last week, so they're probably just playing for pride now. I'm pretty certain at this stage, when we beat Burnley, we will survive, guaranteed. That would mean that we're on, 43 points? Spurs are on 34, so that's actually a 9-point gap. There's 4 games remaining. We'll play for draws, like we used to do in the middle of the season. But yeah, as if that's gonna fucking happen. As if we'll actually keep on to those fucking draws. Yeah, enough ranting, I think. Let's go Burnley.
Gay.